What's up, everybody? James Michelle here, and I'm back at you with another video along with my Hypes Watch brothers as we discuss this episode of The Flash, which is probably the best of the season. And we'll just go ahead and introduce the panel, starting with Don Willi, who was missed on the last episode, but he's here now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Don Willi back again. So glad to be here with, the guys to discuss Flash, because this is one of my favorite shows on television right now. So man, thanks for having me on, as always, James.
And then we got Jerry over here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? This is Jerry Allen, the fastest man on Earth, behind Varys and Littlefinger. So, ready to talk about this latest episode of The Flash.
And then, of course, last but not least, we got Sir L.T. Giles.
What's up, everybody? Sir L.T. Giles here. Definitely excited to talk about this episode. Jerry, how does going in a teleporter make them faster than come on?
Well, it's the same thing with Saboteur or whatever his name is. Sabotage.
Anyway, let's get this review on the road.
It's so fast you just teleport these stuff.
So yeah, starting with this episode, I wrote in my notes that to open this episode, we started with Juliana Jones and the Temple of Doom over here. We got Julian in India. He puts on the Indiana Jones hat to open the episode, and we see him in the looks like they're doing an archaeological dig. He's with other people in the group. And we're kind of seeing the origins of alchemy here as we see him opening up the box, of course. A big white beam comes out, and he's...
What's in the box?
So, yeah. We don't have to break that down specifically. We'll keep going here. After that, we see the Christmas party. We're starting to see Cisco, and he's starting to have visions. He sees Dante, and Cisco, he looks up he looks up information on this relic. He discusses it with the group. It's a relic from India. They call it the Philosopher's Stone that creates metas, and we see Julian is the one that wrote the research on it. And then
I just want to say one thing. Who called the Philosopher's Stone? Episode 1. That's all I gotta say. Continue.
And who called Julian being alchemy? We can go on with that.
Tag team right here. Tag team champs.
But yeah, we see Barry then go and talk to Julian, and we see Julian lying that they never found the Philosopher's Stone, and he gets uppity when Alan brings up Savitar. We then hear Savitar calls out Julian, and Julian unveils the alchemy suit. So yeah, all that, the starting beginning, we're seeing the beginning machinations of how Julian became alchemy. So we'll start with Don Willi. What do you think about this open and what it says about Julian?
Hashtag British Dick. Look, man, I haven't liked that guy from before. This didn't ingratiate me to him any now, just because he was under mind control. I mean, look, it doesn't stop dude from being a complete jerk off, and he got kind of what he deserved. He became a fucking slave because of him being a British dick. So there you go.
Mr. Jerry, what you think about this open?
I don't get where Don Willie's coming from here. Okay, let's say he likes the rules and he likes to explore and he's learning some stuff. I don't know, how does that make anyone a dick? I don't know. I don't get it. I call that, discipline and learning right there. And, he just had some bad luck and ran into the wrong thing and, got fucked up. That's really all there is to say, Indiana Jones gone bad, Juliana Jones. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I don't know. Obviously, he was given option dickish vibes earlier, but I do think he's a victim as opposed to, I think he's a victim here, and we'll see as the episode continues. We'll discuss Julian's motivations a little bit later. But LT, what do you think?
Yeah, Jerry took it right. The words right out of my mouth. Juliana Jones. I love that. See, I guess I can't really say because the end of this episode makes me think different about Julian. I agreed with Don Willi about him being a douche. But the end of this episode makes me think different. So I guess I'll save it for when we talk about the end of the episode.
That's right. If I remember correctly, LT, you were pretty hard on Julian last episode, right?
Yeah, I didn't believe, like you were saying that you thought that he was under mind control, but I didn't. I thought it was just he was, you know, I thought he was doing it all on his own. But that's why I take back a lot of stuff I said about him because the dude was under mind control. It wasn't all him.
Mm-hmm. I got you. I hear you. All right. So after that, we get a cool scene here. We then see Earth 3. You can see that it looks a little different. It looked a little bit more like, looked a little colorful. It looked almost like Wizard of Oz, almost a little bit in the color palette. But yeah, we see the Earth 3's version of the Trickster, which Jerry and LT, you haven't seen the Trickster before. Obviously, it's Mark Hamill, and he has wreaked havoc before in season 1 and season 2 as the Earth 1's version of the Trickster. We see him robbing a bank, and we see Jay Garrick apprehending him as they are handcuffed. We see the Trickster unveil a bomb vest before it goes off, though Barry comes in and stops the bomb and Trickster gets arrested. Then Jay comes back with Barry to Earth 1 and tells him Savitar's backstory, as he says that Savitar was the first speedster, and he's essentially challenging Barry. He kind of chose Barry to challenge him. We kind of why later. And it appears Jay will stay to help in Barry's fight against Savitar. So, Jerry, what do you think about this scene?
Well, the first thing I thought is if you're going to bring in Mark Hamill, you should make him Cockknocker. You should have him play Cockknocker, not the Trickster. But yeah, I don't know. You don't fuck with the Jedi Master, son. That's all. So it's kind of exciting to see the original Flash coming in on board on here. So that was kind of cool, but other than that, I don't really have anything to say. Other than it should have been Cockknocker.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, he's been Trickster on the show before, so it only makes sense. And I do agree. I really do like Henry Allen Shipp's performance as Jay Garrick. I think Jay Garrick, the way that they're portraying him, is pretty good, in my opinion. LT, what do you think about these two scenes?
That's good makeup and everything. Maybe I just faced it. I had no idea that was Mark Hamill. But one thing I didn't get is when he got out of the door, he's just standing there. I tricked him. Why didn't he run? Get the fuck out of there. You just robbed a bank. What are you hanging around for? He should have left, man. If you want to get away with the money, he waited there too long. And, but I guess if he ran, he would have got caught anyways. But what is he waiting for when he got out the door? I mean, if I robbed a bank, I'm gone, man. I'm like trying to get the hell out of there to the getaway car. And it was cool to see the other Flash dude again. And yeah, I didn't know that was Mark Hamill.
Yep, it was indeed Mark Hamill. Don Willi.
I enjoyed having Mark Hamill back on the show. It was pretty interesting with the makeup because a lot of people speculated, when they saw, I guess, like the leaked pictures that he was going to be playing a different version of the Joker. But I thought to myself, like, why would they have him playing a different version of the Joker, with all different kind of makeup when he does the Flash, he's Trickster. So, like I said, I thought it was cool to have him back. I wish they would have had him do a little more. Like, I would love to see an Earth 3 episode where it's nothing but, the Jay Garrick Flash versus Trickster. So, yeah, man, it's nice to have these cameos from Mark Hamill. Hopefully they will expand his role at some point.
Indeed. They can always, I'm sure that they'll, they already had brought him back with a Escape from Prison episode. They could always do the same thing again or have like an Earth 17 Trickster or something. But yeah, so after that, we see a little throwaway scene of HR and Wally training. And we see more Cisco and Dante visions. And, Barry talks to Iris and she tells him that she has unearthed information that the 4 scientists that were with Julian at the time died during the excavation. and they're starting to connect the dots between Alchemy and Julian. So Jay and Barry go confront Alchemy because they found out that by tracking the stone that he was on top of a roof somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was, but Alchemy says that they will absorb all the power from the metas. And the exact quote was that we will absorb all the powers of the metas from the Flashpoint, and that they will become the servants of Savitar. So that's what Alchemy was saying when he was shooting the stone up into that barrier or whatever. We see Barry engage Alchemy as Jay is getting his ass kicked by Savitar. Right before Jay is about to get killed, Barry grabs the stone and locks it up, and Savitar disappears, and we see Barry take off Alchemy's mask, and it is revealed to be Julian, to absolutely no one's surprise. Obviously, they've been telegraphing that out. I don't know, they kind of made it a big deal. I mean, we obviously knew that he was Alchemy. So
well, they
LT
already revealed it, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it was just for
Barry
Barry to find
didn't
out.
know, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, it was a shocker for him. I mean, we know, but I guess I don't know too much about the Philosopher's Stone, but could it be destroyed? Is it something that can't? Why can't they destroy it?
Oh, I'll mention that. Good going
Okay. Now, I know this has nothing to do, but what is more powerful, the Infinity Stones or the Philosopher's Stone?
Right, Infinity Stones.
Yeah, I would say the Infinity Stone. Don Willie, what do you think about that whole sequence, the fight scenes and whatnot?
I think they need more flashes because they were both getting their ass kicked practically at the same damn time, and the fact that he's, basically traveling at warp speed, creating wormholes, and it's like, I'm just going to throw you through here and, beat your ass and then go get the other guy and do the same thing to him. That was pretty crazy. But then, I wasn't expecting that when he put the Philosopher's Stone in that box, that it basically banishes Savitar to another realm or keeps him kind of in purgatory or something like that. So that was pretty interesting. Now we just got to see who's going to be stupid enough to release him permanently, I guess.
And Jerry.
Well, I mean, I was kind of wondering, LT, did Savitar, is he really that fast, or does he just have Littlefinger's teleporter? So that's the first thing I was wondering. Second thing, was this the fight where they were actually going punches being thrown in flash speed, and it got a bit CGI-ish, obvious CGI? Was that this fight?
It was either this one or the other one. No, I think that's the other one with Kid Flash.
No, I remember it was. I remember
maybe
it
it was this one.
It was the older Flash the original Flash was CGI'd, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a CW after all. So yeah, a little bit of a CW budget came out, but otherwise it was cool. The fight was cool. The Julian surprised no one. So yeah.
Yep, pretty much. So yeah, I thought it was a good fight. It was good to actually see some fighting once again. And obviously there was no surprise. I was actually a little worried that they were going to kill off Jay Garrick there for a second. I was like, are they going to kill him off and have Barry be upset that he lost his dad and then the guy that looked like his dad? But yeah, they did not, which is good because I actually like Jay Garrick. So moving on.
Flash, can they?
Well, I mean, they could, but we'll see. So yeah, Barry locks Julian up in the pipeline. Julian denies he is Alchemy. Barry and Jay have a good little. I thought they had a good little convo. It wasn't very long, but it was a little. You can see Barry is missing his father through Jay because obviously Jay is his version of his father, and I thought they have a good rapport together. Then Cisco states that the box doesn't exist, it's in a different plane of existence, I guess. The box is in flux, or it's the box itself is too fast. It's not really there. We see some more Wally, HR, Joe melodrama that we've been seeing every episode. Not too much, but we did get it a little bit of Joe, showing Joe how being overprotective he is. Then Barry reveals to Julian he is the Flash. Julian tells Barry about his sister, and we get kind of the origins of why he was obsessed to find the stone to begin with. Savitar was preying on his need to, resurrect his sister or whatever. Obviously, that plays into what happens with another character here in a minute. And we get the origins of how he became alchemy. Congruently with Julian discussing how he became alchemy, we see Cisco getting more visions with Dante, and the vision is very familiar to Julian's story. Obviously, they're drawing a parallel there. And it sounds like Savitar is now recruiting Cisco to be alchemy. And then, of course, he opens the box and Savitar appears. So we'll just talk about up to that point, learning about Julian's backstory and also congruently at the same time. And I know Don Willi will agree with me on this one because we know that the Cisco-Dante relationship was non-existent. It was like nothing. And in fact, Cisco didn't like Dante and Dante didn't like Cisco, but now it's like all of a sudden Cisco is like this, I don't know. Cisco, it hasn't been the best season for Cisco in my opinion. And yeah, I thought that was kind of weak that, he's preying on, I think it would have made more sense to have Caitlyn in this situation, wanting Robbie back. I think that would have made more sense than having Cisco want Dante back. We'll start with Don Willi. What did you think about this whole sequence up to the point where Cisco opens the box?
I mean, well, I definitely have to agree that it probably would have worked better with Caitlyn and Robbie. I have no idea what the hell the actor is doing, especially since they're not going to give him that X-Files spinoff that they were supposed to do. So that would have been cool just to see Robbie back. And it does seem a little out of sorts that Cisco was pining for Dante to be around when those two really didn't get along whatsoever. So the fact that he's been giving Barry grief this whole season over it, I mean, I understand in terms of the whole thing that, that was my brother. But at the same point, those two weren't even that cool. But all right, to go to the Julian thing, maybe I was a little harsh on him in the beginning, but it's mainly because of his personality, But it's not like he didn't deserve what happened to him. Savitar messed with his head. And played into his longing for to bring someone back who he missed. So I get that part, and I actually like the way that they did the editing with the kind of parallels between him telling the story and what Cisco was going through, and when Cisco opened the box because Caitlyn is up there like, no, don't do it, Cisco. So that was actually pretty cool. But I think that it would have worked out better if it had been Caitlyn trying to bring back Robbie instead.
Right on. That was my thought process. Jerry.
Well, first I want to go back a little bit, and the whole Joe and HR. They were fighting about that's when it was revealed that HR has been training Wally, right?
Yes.
And did we even talk about how HR apparently was just training Wally? All he was doing was, coming out with a fucking stopwatch, and he's like, well, let me test how fast you are. What kind of training? I could be his trainer if that's the case. Why does he need a trainer? He can get a bum off the street to train him if that's all it takes. Like,
because he needs HR's positivity. That's what he needs. HR's positivity. He's a life coach.
Power of positivity.
See, Jerry, this is why you couldn't be a coach, because you'd be too busy like, oh, what the hell does it even mean for me to be holding this damn stopwatch while you're running? Oh, this is bullshit. I don't want to train you. Probably throw the watch down and walk away from him. That's why, Jerry, the director of Fading Operations.
I understand why you need someone to do the stopwatch, but why did it have to be HR Wells? Like, why couldn't it be anyone? Anyone could have,
Because what the hell else?
Yeah, because nobody else is trying to train him. Nobody else is trying to train him.
Remember, this version of Wells is not a genius. So, like, what else does he have to do?
Look. All I'm saying is, if I get some flash powers, I'm having LT Giles train me. That's happening. So
Fair enough.
anyway, so as far as the capturing Julian, doing the whole backstory, I thought that, I'm gonna have to agree with Don Willi. That was very well done. Showing back and forth. I didn't know who that guy was, but it was pretty easy to figure out that was Paco Ramon's brother. And yeah, you see him like acting just a fool. He's like, I don't know, like Paco just started getting kind of gay when he thought his brother was coming up. Who
the hell is Paco?
You know who Paco is. And he was just like acting like he was just being weird. I don't know. It didn't seem right. He was a little too giddy, in my opinion. This whole thing, and I'm like, come on, man. You know what's up. You've been pessimistic this whole time, but now you're like, oh, it's my brother. Like, come on. I don't know.
And
but it was well done at least. So,
like I said, it would even make it more. It would make less sense if you watched the other seasons too, because like I said, they had no relationship yet. They have Cisco pining over his brother that he didn't even like. But yeah, LT, what'd you think?
I understand where you guys are coming from. They said he hated him, but it's still his blood. And, you might be not talk to a relative for a long time, but when they do go, you're gonna miss them, and that's probably where they're going with this. And when he did have the thing open, he reminded me of like when Mace Windu was about to kill the Emperor, and he was like, I need him. But yeah, he misses. He probably regrets hating his brother. And that's why he misses him so much. The actor that plays his brother reminds me of somebody. Like, I don't know where I've seen him before, but I've seen that dude somewhere.
I have to interject. If you can make comparisons to acting like Anakin from the prequels, then that definitely confirms that you are part of the Chili's baby back bitches.
Well, that's just one opinion, and whatever.
But in my opinion, the Jedi are evil.
Yeah, I agree. Like, let's just say Anakin. I mean, he's like the owner of Chili's baby back bitches, and Paco just decided to become a full rat tonight.
Anyway, let's not discuss prequels here. This is a Flash video, and I'm getting flashbacks. So we will move on.
That's the point. That's the Flash point.
So yeah, Barry and Savitar begin to engage in a fight, and Wally goes to help because Jay is not in any fighting condition, despite Joe being like, "Oh, Wally, don't go." But yeah, he goes anyway. Cisco refuses to close the box.
Why was Jay not in fighting position? Those guys heal super fast, like Wolverine fast.
Probably just because they needed a way for Wally to show his stuff, so they can give him the suit later to like fully ingratiate him to the team. But also Jay is old. He is older, so
old man Logan
play that into it. But anyway, yeah. So
James got frozen.
Damn it, Jerry.
To stalk and I guess you took Don Willi's thunder, I guess. Jerry.
No, you actually froze for a minute there. So, we all know that's probably Jerry's fault. So
no, James just went interface.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Paco Ramon's fault.
You guys can hear me now, right?
Good. Yeah, now we can.
Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, Barry and Savitar engaged in a fight. Wally goes to help him because Jay's not in fighting condition. Cisco refuses to close the box, and as Savitar is walking up with his Baraka blades out, he's about to stab up Barry and Wally, but Caitlin, through the power of love, once again talks some sense into Paco. I mean Cisco. Damn it, Jerry, you got me saying Paco now. And he closes the box. So, Jerry, we'll start with you. What do you think about this sequence here?
I mean, I said it before. Don't take money. Don't take a thing. It just don't take a credit card. train. It's the power of love. Always coming through. But yeah, it's a good thing that she was able to get through, close that Philosopher's Stone. He didn't want a Megatron, Barakatron, I guess. What we're calling him, maybe. I don't know. He's about to cause some bad news going on here. So good thing they stopped that guy. It's evil.
Indeed. LT, what'd you think?
Is there in any of the alternate flashpoints is Kate and Paco a thing? Are they like in a relationship, or is they just brother and sisterly love?
I've gotten that. I've gotten that vibe too, LT. That they look like they.
But I mean, it's kind of always like, I don't know. It hasn't been shown that way anyway in any of the universes, because Caitlyn was married for the first season. She was married. Well, her fiance died, but yeah, she was like grieving over him. And then in the second season, she started falling in love with Zoom when he was not Zoom, and then they revealed he was Zoom. So yeah, this season, I mean, I guess it seems like that they're definitely maybe hinting towards that. But also kind of got the vibe that maybe like towards the end of this episode that maybe they're trying to hint something between her and Julian too. So, but we'll discuss that later. LT,
lots of vibes going around, if you know what I mean.
One thing that I was kind of disappointed with this scene, not that I didn't like it, I thought it was a cool scene, but when HR was telling Wally to bob and weave, I thought Wally was going to be fast enough to like dodge Saboteur or something like that. That's what I was hoping I was going to see. I thought maybe, Saboteur was going to come at him and he moved out the way because he's like bob and weave, but no, but it's still an alright cool scene.
He should have roped the Saboteur, That's what he should have been doing. Maybe he had a better trainer that did more than a stopwatch.
Don Willie, what'd you think?
Yes, I do think Jerry is an ass. But other than that, though, I mean, hey, look, man, we needed someone to bring Cisco back from the brink. Glad it was Caitlyn. And as far as the whole Barry Wally thing, I mean, Wally wanted to prove himself. He did the best he could given the circumstances. And, look, you got to think about it. No one wanted to train him. They were all afraid that he was going to get himself killed. So, him even being able to distract Saboteur long enough for Barry not to be impaled, I think was a good thing. So, Jerry, stop hating.
I'm just saying they needed to get him a better trainer. They're like, how about they should have got like Freddie Roach or something like that.
Anyway, moving on. So this is the good stuff here, and I got a theory. I got a pretty good theory, I believe, on what's happening here with Saboteur and who he is. So the gang explained to Julian that Saboteur possesses him and uses him as a medium, and they need to use him to get to Saboteur. As Julian loses consciousness, he awakens back up, and Saboteur speaks through him. Saboteur has knowledge of all of them. He states that one shall betray him, one shall fall, and one will have a fate that is worse than death. Saboteur states that he is...
One to dread, and one to love.
Yeah. Saboteur states that he is the future Flash, or, it's part of my theory, is that a play on words? Instead of that I am the future Flash, is it I am the future Flash? No comma in that. I'll get back to that later. And that he wants everything you took from me, I will take it back, and I will take it back, and then I will destroy you. He says that Barry's future self did this to him and trapped him in eternity, and that he will get his revenge. The gang comes up with the plan to throw the stone into the Speed Force. Jay and Barry work together to attempt to get rid of the stone. As they attempt this, Barry gets thrown into the future. He sees his future self and Saboteur and Iris. We then witness the death of Iris as Barry rushes to her. Jay grabs the other Barry and brings him back. So, LT, are you good? I saw you backed out of there.
It's saying something about my camera's not working, so I guess it's just displaying my avatar. So I guess I'm good on that point.
All right. So what do you think about this whole sequence, starting from them Savitar possessing Julian and telling him everything, and then we see Iris's death?
Oh man, that kind of, because for a minute there, sometimes when I'm watching this, I kind of get like distracted a little bit, and I'm watching it, but I'm distracted at the same time. And I really thought Iris was about to die, but then when I found out what happened, I was really relieved, you know. But that was a pretty crazy part, man.
Don Willi.
Well, for one, I can't wait to discuss what your Savitar theory a little later, but yeah, that whole sequence of events was crazy. He's basically blaming Barry for him becoming Savitar. And I wonder who's going to be the one to betray them, who's going to be the one to die. Because I don't think it's going to be Iris. I think them showing us Iris is the fake out, and it's going to be somebody else that actually winds up dying. Probably HR, because who's going to miss him anyway. But yeah, that's going to be.
Some people might like that though. Some people won't even care. Be like, good riddance. Like
I
maybe someone on this panel.
I love HR, so I'd miss him.
I know someone on this panel doesn't love HR.
Yeah, the director of hating operations himself.
I don't mind HR's goofiness, so someone actually really dislikes HR.
Right. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was a pretty deep part to the episode, especially because, it feeds into what happened earlier this season when Barry, saw that when Barry first saw that the byline on that article was changed and it wasn't Iris who wrote it. So, I know this has to be feeding into his paranoia, because how could you not be paranoid about the things that have been happening ever since you changed the past at the end of last year?
Indeed. Well, did you have a theory, or do you have your theory on the prophecy laid out by Savitar, the three, or do you not have any theories yet? Working on that.
I mean, like I said, I think the one that's going to wind up dying is going to be HR. The one who winds up betraying them,
I think it's Wally, but that's me.
Yeah, I was going to say Wally, because he's like they've already shown Cisco be mad at Barry. There's no need to go back to that. Caitlin has already been brought back from the brink, so there's no need to do that again. So, I mean, it makes sense that Barry would be the one. Now, I mean, not Barry, Wally. Now, the thing I'm wondering is it possible that Wally becomes Savitar later on? But, we'll talk about that later.
Do you think Wally's gonna do it on his own, or you think he's gonna be influenced by Savitar? You
know what? I'd rather discuss that later. Let the number one hater himself finish his part out before we get into that.
Let's get one thing straight. We all know the number one hater is Anne. So, but moving on. This was some serious House of the Undying shit going on here. With what was it? What was the three things? James, one to betray, one to die,
and one that will have a fate worse than death, which I imagine will be Barry. It's going to play into what I'm going to say on Savitar.
Okay, so I mean, I couldn't really. I don't really know enough to figure it out. I was just hoping they were going to destroy this Philosopher's Stone, because I know what that means. Like, I've seen Superman destroy the Philosopher's Stone, and that means Darkseid's coming. But since they didn't do that, no Darkseid, no Rock of... If anyone wants to know what happens if you destroy the Philosopher's Stone, read Grant Morrison's Rock of Ages from JLA, from his JLA run. The arc is called Rock of Ages. It's a really good one. And Batman looks like a total badass, and that's all I gotta say.
Didn't Dan and Dave write that?
No, Dan and Dave probably wouldn't even know what that is. They're probably thinking it's the Tom Cruise movie. But anyways, so I didn't really think of a theory on that, so we'll just go ahead and move on from there. But I think Barry, we're gonna have some serious Terminator 2 shit going on. There's no fate but what you make, and I think Barry's gonna make fate happen. He's already done it before with this Flashpoint. I mean, probably will come full circle.
Well, I'm laying down my Savitar theory right now. And I believe Savitar said it when he said,
is he Barry? You say he's Barry?
Yeah. When he said Savitar states that he is the future Flash, but it could be interpreted that when he said it exactly there. He said, I am the future Flash. And what I think it is, we've seen separate timelines. And what I think this is going to be, and we've seen like time loops and shit. And, it's kind of like the end of 12 Monkeys, where it's revealed that Bruce Willis is the one that fucking is the shooter, and that he kills himself. And I think this is kind of going down a similar
way.
Wait,
what? He killed himself?
Yeah, you never seen 12 Monkeys?
I have. I don't remember he watched himself.
I never seen it, and he just ruined the movie for me.
Well, come on. It came out in 1996. If you haven't seen it by now, spoiler alerts are...
I thought he got shot by security and he watched himself die. He was a kid who watched himself die.
Right, okay, that's what it was. But still, it's like, you're stuck in a time loop here, and he's the one that's causing his own misery, and that's why Savitar said that one will have a fate worse than death. And I think what it is we're seeing that Barry that saw Iris die. We've seen these separate timelines of different Barrys and different things going on. I'm thinking that specific Barry who saw his wife die is going to go crazy. And, we remember the video or the clip that Rip Hunter got, or what's his name, from the Legend of Tomorrow, saying that you can't trust Barry right now. And I'm thinking this is sort of a, because Savitar knew all the goings on of everyone that is in the inner crew, and I believe that Savitar is Barry, who's been training in the future. He's gone insane, and he wants to punish Barry in the past for having all this even happen because he wants to mess with the time continuum. I think that's kind of the route I think they're going with. I don't know if you guys agree with that. You guys can speak upon that now if you want, or and whatnot.
You're like dead on with. I was gonna say you're dead on with your theories, but it's funny. I keep on disagreeing with them. Like I in a way I don't want that to be true, but I'm not doubting you no more, James. You're like dead on with your theories, and you're like guessing everything.
It makes sense, and it's a theory that is pretty much self-contained within the show. It's not gonna have any. It doesn't seem like it requires any outside influences. So yeah, I'll probably go along with that. So you think Wally's gonna betray? Who did you think was gonna die?
I'm not sure on those three prophecies. I do think Wally's the one to betray, just because they've set in the, kind of the seeds of like, they don't really think I'm, really part of the crew and whatnot. Though, even though they did give him the suit at the end here, but I do think that maybe Savitar will kind of, pull them apart with Wally. The death, I don't know. Maybe it is just Iris, and I do think the fate worse than death is Barry himself, caused by Barry himself, which would be a fate worse than death. You knowing that you yourself is the one that caused all this, all this shit that happened right now would be pretty devastating. Don, Willi, what do you think about the Savitar's Barry theory?
It's a cool theory. The thing I'm wondering is, why would he kill Iris though? Like what? Because why would you want to punish yourself that badly to the point where you kill the woman, the love of your life? Like why do that?
Because he's just gone, and it's weird. It's like one of those things where it's like one of those weird time loops where like it happened the first time, so now you're set in this infinite time loop where it keeps happening, and that's why it's the fate worse than death. because he's like going to be stuck in this infinite time loop where he himself kills Iris, and then it causes him in the past to go crazy. And I think it's just because they keep messing with the timeline. Like maybe this. That's why I say maybe like the first one, it could be like a separate Barry. Because he's had all these separate time issues. Where maybe it had another Barry that got stuck in a different timeline, and that Barry got crazy. So he wanted to punish this Barry by going back and killing Iris, because he knows that'd be the thing that would destroy Barry the most. If that makes any sense.
Convolution. I mean, listen.
That's what happens with time travel.
It could be true. Listen, you've been right so far. So you know what? If that's your theory, I'm going to roll with it.
What was your just out of curiosity? I'd like to hear what was your Savitar theory.
I mean, I thought it could possibly be Wally. Because he's wanted to become a speedster so badly ever since he heard about it, and when he found out that Barry was the Flash, and it's like, well, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. But in him gaining all the power that he wants, it winds up driving him crazy and just has him doing all of this stuff because now he kind of blames Barry and also Iris and Joe and all the rest for kind of setting him on this path. He might feel as though, like, if I never met you guys, maybe my life would have been better. But ever since I met you, I got these powers, but life has been fucked up.
You know what? The thing about Wally, though, is there's no way he's going to be on the levels of power of Savitar if he has fucking HR as his trainer. Maybe if they get him Cus D'Amato, then maybe he might reach that level. But right now, he needs a new trainer if he's going to get to that level of badassery.
Leave HR alone.
Actually, you know what? I'm starting to change some things here. Now, see, one thing I got an issue. I'm starting to think that maybe the jealous Wally thing is getting put to bed with them giving him the Kid Flash suit. And I'm actually going to think HR is going to be the one that is the betrayer. Because why in the hell is he there? There's got to be more reasons, the reason why he's there in the first place.
James, that makes total sense. And you know what? I was going to say, because, since we're talking about the whole sweater and the Christmas party and everything, I was going to say, HR's sweater was so cheesy. But check this out. It's like, I like this HR because he's hilarious. He's funny. But if we get rid of him and we get the old HR back with Jesse, that would make me happy too.
There's something fishy about HR. I think he might be the betrayer, and there's a reason why he's there. But I don't know. We'll see.
What about the recordings? Remember they caught the recordings and he was like kind of like caught red-handed. He could be the betrayer. You're right.
But I thought he was clear to those recordings.
Yeah, the recordings. Yeah, I think he was kind of clear.
But maybe it was just a good excuse to get them off his back. Maybe it's more to that.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. So
if it's HR, who's gonna train Wally after this?
Barry. He doesn't need HR anymore because now he's officially part of the team, and Barry will train him.
Yeah.
I thought there was Angelo Dundee training.
Yeah, and then him and Jesse Quick can have some interesting relations in the Speed Force. That could be interesting.
That would be interesting, but I think we're getting away from the CW on that.
Yeah.
Going to HBO territory.
No, not an HBO territory. That'd be it's this. What is the porn parodies? This ain't the Flash or whatever.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Oh no, it would be the Flash.
It'd be the Flash, but it'd have an extra S.
If I was the Flash, Jerry would be my Parker Ramon.
I was wondering where you were going with that, LT.
Anyway, so it's revealed that that was 5 months in the future. So obviously the plan didn't work, and we found out why Iris wasn't on the newspaper anymore, which we brought up earlier. Jay tells him the dangers of seeing the future, and I like the interaction between Jay and Barry because once again, obviously the guy playing Jay was his father on Earth who always gave him good advice, and we see that this Jay, a wizened veteran of being a speedster, is giving sound advice to Barry about sort of these machinations with time. He's not supposed to see the future. So I really like that. Then to close out the show, we see Christmas at the Wests. We kind of see the relationship between Joe and the DA forming. We see the crew give Wally his suit as they officially welcome him as Kid Flash to the team. Julian comes to the Christmas party and tells Barry he has his job back. And then we see Barry as a Christmas present, said he signed a lease, and him and Iris have a new place. So that's essentially the end of the episode. We'll start with LT on this one. Kind of what did you think about that whole ending?
Well, remember I said in the beginning, you know, I felt bad. At first I judged Julian and thought he was just a complete asshole and he was alchemy on his... Well, I didn't think he was alchemy. You had that there and then it was revealed he was alchemy. And I thought he was alchemy on his own. And then when it reveals that he's been mind controlled, I feel really bad for him. And it was nice because I didn't think he was going to show up at the Christmas party. And when he did, I felt really good for him, man. Like he might become part of the team, you know, like before when they were all in, you know, they're all together and, you know, he knows that Barry is the Flash and he basically knows all of them. So it's like, I'm thinking, is he going to become part of the team and is that going to kind of be their downfall in a way? Because maybe Savitar could still control him. You know, that's my question too.
Maybe
you
he's
know,
the one
because when
that
him, well, yeah, when him and the old other Flash guy, when they went in that thing and ran so fast and put the stone in. Is it floating in space or where is it at?
Well, that's why it probably didn't work because we saw that Savitar was still there in the future. So obviously it didn't. I don't think it worked.
So I mean, then do they know where because Barry was telling Iris that they won. So was he lying?
Well, it's because he didn't want to tell her, hey, by the way, Savitar was out on loose and you're going to die in 5 months.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, too. The older Flash told him that that's not necessarily the future, that, you know, there's all kinds of possibilities, you know. But no, I'm going to give this episode my highest. Are we doing that yet? Are we doing ratings or am I just final thoughts?
Yeah, we'll do that on final thoughts here in a second.
Okay, yeah. No, but that I thought it was a great scene. You know, they all looked pretty happy, and HR's his sweater was so funny, so cheesy, like all their sweaters and stuff, even Flash's. And it was the scene after that when Flash took Iris to their new house. That was a nice heartwarming scene between them two.
Oh, and I did want to throw in. Do you think that they might be hinting towards a Caitlin Julian thing?
Yeah. Well, see, I'm confused there because I'm thinking, you know, there might be something between her and Paco, but who knows? Maybe the best man win, and we'll find out who she likes.
I don't know. I think Paco might end up being the new Jorah. He'll be the captain, the Sir Friend Zone. Because you know, this also seems like what they do with Caitlyn is they like to hook her up with the dude and then either make him die or be the bad guy. And so I could see them hooking him up with Julian and then Julian dying or something. They seem to like to do that with Caitlyn. But yeah, Jerry, Don Willi, what do you think?
First off, who the hell is Paco? But secondly, yeah, man, that was
Paco Ramon.
Pretty interesting scene. You know, the fact that Julian actually showed up showed that maybe he isn't as much of a British dick as I thought. You know, maybe he's only half of a British dick. And Jerry is probably the other half. But yeah, it was cool to see Wally get inducted to the team finally. HR being overly Christmassy, like to the point where even the rest of them were looking at him like, come on, bro, like calm it down just a little bit. And then the reveal, the reveal with Barry saying like, I had to kind of keep your president secret, and then saying, hey, yeah, this is our house now. That was cool, man, and it's a little heartbreaking to a certain extent because, you know, he's fighting to keep that dream alive. So I'm hoping he has more than 5 months in that place with her, man, because that would be really messed up for him to make such a big move like that, only only for it to be kind of like a ticking time bomb, or like just like a countdown, man. Like that would be really sad.
Indeed. Jerry. Oh, Jerry frozen?
That's what he gets for calling Cisco Paco all that damn time, man. Sooner or later, the hate comes back on you, Jerry.
Hey, I'm on the Paco team too.
Yeah, it is Paco. Paco knows.
Anyway, Jerry, what
Don Willi was talking about?
Well, because I said I was asking for your opinion, but you were frozen.
Oh yeah. It froze for a second. It was going too fast. So yeah, it was cool. Like I knew Julian was going to be redeemed. Did I not say that? Did I not say it? He's a good guy. He may be alchemy, but he's going to be redeemed. I knew it. And yeah, HR with the overly Christmas spirit. Maybe he's overcompensating for something. What do you guys think there? Interesting. Now we got Kid.
He's like what is it? A wolf in lamb's clothing. He's trying to use his positivity to deflect his betrayal. That's in the works. I'm calling it. Wells. Go ahead.
Got the power of positivity, the power of love. You got a lot of powers going on right about now. So, but yeah, it was a nice feel good ending. But we know Barry's got a secret looming over him that makes it not so nice. That's really all I'm going to say.
So yeah, we'll start.
I did think there was a little spark between Caitlin and Julian. Yeah.
Which will make his death heartbreaking for her, since she's had two of her boyfriends already die. So, what's a third? What's
one more? Huh? What's one more?
Yeah, what's one more? What's one more dead boyfriend for finally Cisco to get out of the friend zone?
Yeah,
So yeah, that's essentially the end of the episode. And like I said, I thought it was the best episode of the season, but we'll see what these gentlemen have to say, and we'll start with Don Willi. Final thoughts and ratings.
So final thoughts. Very good episode. Thought it moved things along. It answered questions, brought up new questions, which is always a good thing if you want to keep something continuing. One of my favorite episodes of the season. I would say I give this one 8.5 out of 10.
Right on. Jerry.
that was definitely by far the best episode of the season, in my opinion. Had the nice fighting, even though a little bit of the CW budget came out. But you know what? They're doing something. You got the prophecy. You got character arcs being resolved. New members of the team, maybe 2 new members of the team. Some ominous things, some ominous feelings. Yeah, it was just a good episode. I'll go ahead and give it an 8.
Sir L.T. Giles.
I hated this. No, I'm just joking. No,
it's a 4 out of 10.
Best episode of the season. I do not want Julian with Kate. And it's funny because
is what you want.
No, actually, I want Paco to be with Kate. I like that. Okay. I want them two to be together. I don't want him to be in the friend zone. But anyways, if Julian does be the one to die, good riddance. I do like. I hated him in the beginning, and I kind of hated him, but I do feel for him, and I'm starting to like him more. But I think if I had to pick out all these characters going, good riddance, Julian. Bye, Julian. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have Julian go than Paco or Kate or Iris. Or obviously we know Barry's not going to die. He's the main character. Or even Joe. I'd pick Julian to die over all of them. But anyways, I'm blabbing. I'm blabbing.
One thing to keep in mind. One thing to keep in mind is when a character dies on the Flash, they can always be brought back with time powers, as we have seen.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Don Willi. Best episode of the season, 8.5. I'm right there.
How about this? One, I want to state also in my rating that another reason this got a high rating, there's very little of Chili's baby back bitching going on, and other than maybe some of Paco Ramon. That's about it. And how about this? What if Barry dies and Wally takes over as the new Flash?
That would be interesting. It would immediately tank the ratings.
Yeah, I might stop reviewing the show if that happens. But yeah,
happened in the comics. I'll just say that happened in the comics.
Yeah, I know it happened in the comics, but the difference is Wally West is a lot more enjoyable in the comics, in my opinion. I just don't think that this actor has the charisma to hold a show together. But that's just my opinion. The one that's playing Wally West. So that being said, I really enjoy this episode because I like the Flash Monster of the Week episodes. I like when they actually get into the main, the main meat of the actual story, what's happening. And I really like episodes that make you think about what might be happening in the future, like what kind of things they're building on and things you can theorize about. And we got that in spades. Like I said, I truly believe that Savitar is future Barry. And it's interesting to speculate on the prophecies. So I'm actually going to give this episode a 9. It was my favorite episode of the season by far. And I think it's one of the better. It's been one of the better episodes on the Flash for the most part. Period. So I really enjoyed it. And there's not much else to say. So let's go down the line and say your parting words, who you are, where they can find you, etc. Don Willi.
Yeah, again, thanks for having me on. Love doing this with you guys as always. Well, at least 2 of you guys. But anyway, look, you can find me here on YouTube under the name Don Willi, spelled as is below. And, I do movie reviews, TV reviews, etc., etc. So check out my channel if you haven't already and make sure you bend the knee because I said so.
Jerry.
Well, yeah, Jerry the Targaryen Steamboat. And if you want to know where you can find me tomorrow when we're talking with this group and another one of our Hype Watch members about Rogue One. Same time, different place.
Not 100% sure where, but different place. LT.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Bichelle, for inviting me and Jerry to your guys' reviews. It's funny for the people watching. Me and Jerry, didn't watch The Flash, and I told James, I was like, man, we should just start watching it so we can do it. And I'm glad I did because I'm enjoying this. And don't worry, I'll probably check out season 1 and 2 in the future. But yeah, I got plenty of content on my channel through LT Giles, plenty of videos, and yeah, I'll be there tomorrow too. So see you guys later.
5 months into the future, LT.
Anyway, so be on the lookout for the Hypes Watch channel. The Hypes Watch members actually did a reread on a brand chapter. So go ahead and watch that and be on the lookout of what the Hypes Watch is releasing. Still kind of have an issue with our live streaming, but only a couple more months than that we'll be done with, and we'll be back on the live streaming game. And I'm actually on school break, so I might actually be putting out some videos here in the near future. So be on the lookout for that. And we got Rogue One tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure where it's going to be. I think it's either going to be on Don Willi's channel or Tinker Jaso's. So, just subscribe to their channels anyway. You're probably subbed anyway. So just be on the lookout for that. And if you like the video, hit the like button, share it on social media, and subscribe. Until next time, adios.